Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Today is 21st September and World Alzheimer's Day falls on this date. Today I've decided to take this topic of Alzheimer's because at Neha NutriIFit we get a lot of elderly and senior citizen population, and in the last couple of years we have seen that there are many cases of Alzheimer's which are on increasing day by day, and it is very important that we spread awareness on the occasion of World Alzheimer's Day about Alzheimer's and dementia. So today we have decided to get someone who is expert in this domain. He is known as a son to a million parents in elder care globally. He is the founder and president of Silver Lining Foundation, an NGO working towards elder-friendly world where aging becomes a positive and a rewarding experience. He is also a founder with A1 Snehanjali, which is an assisted living elder care center. It is one of the most unique concept which has been introduced in India. Out here we have Sailesh Mishra. He is not only my friend but also a mentor, and he is an expert in the domain of geriatric care. I would like to welcome Sailesh Mishra to Neha NutriIFit to talk more about Alzheimer's and dementia. Hi Sailesh.
Hi Bhavesh, thank you for giving the opportunity. How are you?
I'm good, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And on the day of World Alzheimer's Day, and we have this opportunity to talk and spread awareness about Alzheimer's. Sailesh, I was just going through a few articles and I realized that there are more than 4 million people in India officially who are, with some or the other symptoms of dementia and Alzheimer's. I'm sure the number is more. And apart from that, globally there are more than 44 million people living with this Alzheimer's and suffering. Along with them, there are their family members who are suffering. So I think this is something which has to be addressed. It's a global disease which is going on increasing, and it has to be addressed. So Sailesh, can you highlight something more about Alzheimer's and dementia?
Surely. So let me correct the figures.
Yeah.
So yes, it's increasing, and it is said, it is evidence now that every 7 seconds there is one dementia patient somewhere in the world. And India, we estimate around 5.7 million people suffering with some form of dementia.
Okay.
So that means around 57 lakhs people, Indian kind of figures, are suffering with some form of dementia.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah. And I think also we need to understand there is an urgency now because it's becoming a pandemic. I know we talk about corona, and earlier it was cancer, HIV, and other diabetes and TB. But I think we are not addressing dementia and Alzheimer's. We are ignoring or neglecting, or we are in denial, the society, the government. So what is dementia and Alzheimer's? Dementia is a brain disorder that generally happens to 60 plus people who are 60 plus age group. It is a brain disorder which is progressive, and it might progress slow or fast depending on the person's character or his well-being or health condition. And it is more frequently when you are 80 plus. So 80 plus people, 50% chances are to get dementia, Alzheimer's. It is progressive disease, non-curable. Most of the dementia are non-curable, but there are treatments available where pharmacological and non-pharmacological approaches are there. Alzheimer's and dementia, people confused. What is Alzheimer's? What is dementia?
Yes.
Alzheimer's is one type of dementia. Dementia is a term used for umbrella disease, where Alzheimer's is one type. Then there is a vascular dementia, frontotemporal dementia. There are a lot of other, 100 types of dementia in fact.
Oh.
And we should not go into the clinical aspect. I think it's about, we talk about the disease and the person. So it affects not only memory, because of the brain disease, where it blocks, there's a blockage in the brain, or there might be because of stroke and other causes. And it affects one part of the brain where, like, brain is a computer. It controls you. I'm speaking to you, I'm looking at you, I'm hearing, I'm moving my hand. Everything is controlled by brain.
Yes, it's the CPU of our body. It's the
Exact.
centrally processing unit.
Yes. So if one part of that brain is not working, or the fuse, we actually generally we talk about simple term. The fuse ud gaya, the fuse is gone. So if suppose my hearing sense is gone, so I am hearing, my everything is okay, but I can't hear. My father suffered a stroke and he just now got damaged, and this is a visual nerve, and he had a full blown eyes. But he could not see because brain is not sending signal. So here brain don't send signal, and that part of function of the body is affected. Mostly dementia and Alzheimer's is identified as a memory loss disease. I think that's a mistake. It's not only memory loss. Memory loss is okay. We forget so many things. We forget the phone numbers. We forget so many things at office, and your keys and specs and appointments because of stress and other relation. But here, memory loss is only one aspect. What is the problem is the behavior changes, the personality changes. You forget or the ability to function of activity of daily living. Example, you are not able to do a shaving. You have this brush in the hand, but you don't know you have to put the cream, and then you have to do this, or you forget your brushing. You go to the bathroom and you're blank how to take bath. First to pour water, first to apply soap. So it affects your activity of daily living, and that is a problem.
Basically, our brain is not able to remember all those activities,
Yes.
or many of the activities which we have been doing since childhood.
Yes.
The whole pattern changes.
Exactly. So we have been taught to get up in the morning, brush your teeth, take bath, get ready, groom yourself, eat, and then go out. But I forget the functions. So I'll make mistakes. There will be error. So what happens actually initially is a memory loss. I forgot my appointments. I forgot giving change. I forgot the notes and rupees. Then writing abilities. When I remember you. Oh, I remember this person, but I don't know his name.
Right.
I forget to do lock in my this lock and key. I forget how to do it. Then I forgot my gas to be put on and off. So water also in Mumbai, water is so precious. We forget sometimes. But if you do frequently forget all this activity and you're not able to perform activity of daily living, then there's a problem. At that time,
Alzheimer's is not only a memory loss.
Yes.
But a lot of people think that once I start forgetting, it is Alzheimer's. No, it is about not. I think that is only a part of it.
Yes.
Apart from that, I think there are so many daily routine activities which we are doing. We tend to forget that. Our body is not able to remember those kind of activities. So it not only affects the memory about remembering things, it's also about my daily day-to-day activities which are getting affected.
Yes, you're right.
So, when we talk about this, as I mentioned that people think it's only about the memory loss. So Sailesh, in India, the problem is about awareness. Once when we had these movies like Black, Mine, that time people started, coming to know what is Alzheimer's. Otherwise, a lot of time yet, today also I get to hear people saying that, "Arey, wo buddha pagla gaya hai, wo bulakkad hai, wo bhool raha hai, satya gaya hai." Yet people don't understand that there is a problem. That person is going through a certain problem like probably Alzheimer's. Or there is again a contradictory thing when we come across people saying that, "Arey, ye bhul gaya, isko Alzheimer's ho gaya." So the problem is that people don't know exactly what is Alzheimer's.
Yes.
So my question is, Sailesh, that in India, what is the kind of support system, or what are we doing to make people aware about this problem?
Yeah. So you are right. It's not about India. It's all over the globe. The lack of awareness, and also we have to remember there is stigma attached to mental illness.
Yes.
So anything about mental, so we say, silent. We don't talk about it because we'll feel ashamed about it. We feel shy not to talk about to relatives and not to discuss in the offices. So I think first it is a stigma attached to it. So that's why to create awareness, to break the stigma, ADI, the Alzheimer Disease International Organization, started marking this day. In 2012, they started this awareness campaign, and September whole month is celebrated or marked as World Alzheimer's Month. And 21st September, United Nations from 2012, they have started celebrating as World Alzheimer's Day. This is just to create awareness in different forum, not with senior citizens, only with young people, with professional, doctors, judges, advocates, police, everybody. Everybody should know dementia Alzheimer's, and you should know in your own language. Example, in India we have so many languages, so it has to be remarked that way. So we have rallies, we have awareness campaign, we do webinars, we do talk show. That's why we are here. So we all are doing that, and but it's a long time journey. It's not just one day I celebrated, I do something and people will know. It's a continuous process, and here media, social media comes into effect, where they will talk about it and people will know about it.
So as rightly said by Sailesh, that World Alzheimer's Day is not for people who are suffering from Alzheimer's.
Yes.
It's for every one of us to know what is Alzheimer's. So coming to this point, somebody who's suffering from Alzheimer's, it's not only him or her who's suffering, it's actually the entire family.
Yes.
Sailesh, my grandmother, she had Alzheimer's after my grandfather passed away. A lot of activities, she was detached and she didn't have much to do. And within say about 6 months, 1 year, we saw her condition deteriorating. And one fine day, she refuses to recognize me. She was not able to do her daily activities. She used to forget whether she had her food or not. And that part of her life, first of all, it was very painful to see my grandmother in that condition. And over and above, it was not only, what we realized is it was not only her who was suffering, but the entire family. It was a challenge to keep her comfortable and to keep all of us comfortable. Yes. Because it was a challenge that any moment of the night she used to wake up, she used to forget whether she had slept or not.
Yes.
She used to forget whether she had her food or not. So as a family, it was also a very task. It was a very difficult task for us to tackle. So my point is that how important it is for the family to make it easy and comfortable for someone who's suffering from Alzheimer's, and also for the family to stay motivated and sane to tackle that kind of situation.
You're right. You talk about your grandmother, because the disease, because you're working in this field. Many people, in fact, we come across people who are doctors, engineers, graduate post. It's not about literate and illiterate. People suffer because there is no awareness. Nobody talks about it. Only when there's a movie or there's a day we talk about it. Yeah. But first thing to remember, it can happen to anyone. So we say, why God you did this to me? No, it can happen to anybody. Anyone. Alzheimer and dementia doesn't see social background, your economic background, your culture, your caste, your religion. It can happen to anybody. It happened to Ronald Reagan. It happened to Teji Bachchan. It happened to Atal Bihari Vajpayee. It can happen to anybody. So we have to remember that. When there's a problem with our family member, it might be spouse, it might be grandparent, it might be you and me, anybody. So we should see what are the issues happening. Do they forget regularly? Do they find performing activity of daily living? Do they get irritated frequently? They have sleepless night. They don't dress up properly, or there's a personality change. If there are 3-4 things you feel there's a problem, you need to first point of contact in India, like everywhere, is general physician. We go to them and we tell them this is a problem. Sometime it might be depression. Sometime it might be post-operative kind of thing, where there's a pain, there's something they want to tell you, so it might get solved there itself. But if the problem persists, the GP will refer you to a psychiatrist or neurologist. Neurologists and psychiatrists are the people or professionals who will diagnose there's a dementia Alzheimer's. What happens after that? Once the doctor tells you dementia Alzheimer's, but we found, I'm not telling about all the doctors, they only write Alzheimer ho gaya, dementia ho gaya. And family is shocked. What is Alzheimer? They don't explain, just this scribble some medicine. It's not their mistake also, because lack of mental illness professional in India is big. Country is so vast. Example, Mumbai has 1 crore population. We have only 15-20 psychiatrists. So how many people are going to treat? So they don't have time actually. So they just scribble it. What they should do? They should not only scribble it, but they should refer you to an organization. It might be Silver Inning, it might be Dignity Foundation, it might be Alzheimer's Society of India, so that they will train you how to handle the person. As we discussed, memory loss is not a problem. You might start some medicine which are treatable, which will slow the process, will tackle depression, anger, behavioral problem. But to handle day-to-day problem, you need help. You need training. We need to have awareness how to handle the person. So here roles of NGOs like Alzheimer's Society, Silver and Dignity, other people come into it. And there we help people, we help the family how to take care. So family should accept. First of all, the problem is if you deny a problem, you don't get for solution.
So the most important thing is first is acceptance.
Accept. So you accept. And remember, it can be cured, and it's a long-term process, not short-term process. Generally, what happens? We try to say shortcut. I'll send him to a rehabilitation. I'll give some medicine, and we get a call that he and she had such a problem. They think we have magical stick. कि हम कुछ करेंगे and everything will be. No, it's a long term, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they will live. So you have to have a lot of patience.
So in short, you have to live with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn how to live.
Exactly, and
that is where I think all these associations and organizations will help for a family to actually understand how to live with it and make life better of even the person who's suffering.
And we have to remember, we have to forget the disease. We have to remember there's a person behind it.
Yeah.
So don't say dementia. I'll just give a small example. If we have diabetes, we have blood pressure, it's a lifelong disease. Yes. What we do, we take medicine and we live with it. So here, why we panic? This is a panic situation because there's unclear negativity around dementia, Alzheimer. Cancer, now there is a cure. Some cancer are curable or they are treatable. AIDS, HIV, so here also the same thing. You don't have to panic. You have to see the person who's there because he or she might be your spouse, your grandparent, or somebody, brother and sister. See the person. Why they are reacting so much? Why they are not taking bath? Why not they having medicine? Why not they having food? Example, they will repeat things. They will ask food 10 times. So I can't give food 10 times, but I can break the meal. Right? So I can also, if they are not having bath, so I can't force them to have a bath because they are acting like a children, but they are not children. There's a some person alive. So their brain will forget, but heart will always remember. They will forget the names.
So I think it is more important to know that more than the medication, it is very important for the family actually to deal with the situation because a lot of time only the medicine is not going to help. It is when the support from the family is going to be there for the person. As rightly said by Sailesh, that it's not about that brain, it's about the heart.
Yes.
You look at the person. So I think when that entire family works together towards this problem, I think this problem will become much more smaller and even the life of the person suffering from Alzheimer's will become much more better.
Yes.
So coming to this, can you give us few tips on how to prevent an onset of Alzheimer's or how can we delay the process?
Frankly, there is no 100% prevention tips for dementia Alzheimer's or anything in the life, any health condition. So here we might reduce the risk of getting dementia Alzheimer's. First biggest risk is age 60 plus. So that is the biggest risk. But remember, Alzheimer doesn't happen in one day. It won't happen in 60 and 70, 80. It starts showing the symptoms. The disease set in when you are 40, 45 years.
Okay.
So it shows the sign when you are 60, 70, 80. So best thing to prevent Alzheimer dementia is to keep your heart and brain in good health. So what is good for your heart and brain? You should do things. Example, you should avoid ghee. You should avoid papad, your achar and oily things, your maida, your butter and cheese. So keep your heart, whatever cholesterol thing we try to avoid for heart, we should try to do that. Exercise. 30-minute walk is very important. And you have a Neha Beauty NutriIFit clinic. You do a lot of good training for seniors. So you keep your, not physical, your lifting weight, but physical activity. It might be walk, it might be Zumba, music, dance, creativity. You do things.
So you need to be involved in certain activities.
Exactly. And social engagement. What we in India,
very important.
And I think what we are facing so many years experience now, we have become socially inactive after 60. So 60 हो गया, 60 हो गया, I'm retired, and this is the mindset of seniors themselves, not only family. Oh, I have worked all my life, now I will do yatras, I'll do watch television, I'll just have prapan something and have some chew something, but like you are going to live for 60, 70, 80 years, 90 years, 30, 40 years doing nothing.
Another 30, 40 years.
So if you keep your brain ideal, then the disease set in. If you are not good at heart, the disease set in. You should sleep well. There is a study, if you know multiple languages, you might not avoid risk to get dementia. Right. The more frequent languages you speak, and we are so mechanized. We are running after job. We are become materialistic after money. So we don't give break to ourselves. 5 days. I'm not advocating for 5 days a week, but we should give rest to ourselves. You came from the Manali trip, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. We forget. Have 6 months break in your life. Have coffee and leave your mobile sometime here because you're so busy. I'm very seriously thinking about the younger generation. We are having a different lifestyle. Lifestyle plays the biggest problem. You sleep less, you eat junk food, and you have your drugs, you have your alcohol, tobacco, and smoking. These are some of the causes. So preventing, socially engage, keep your heart good, keep your brain active, do brain games, and sleep well. I think this is important.
Sailesh, at Neha NutriIFit, we have a team of clinical dietitians who recommend certain functional foods,
Yes.
which help in your memory and things like omega-3 rich foods,
Yes.
which help in a lot of ways. We also have there are certain vitamins like B12,
Yes.
vitamin D3.
Yes.
So these are certain micronutrients which are very important.
Yes.
Along with that, even the activities, as you mentioned, it's not about exercise, keeping your body looking fit, but it's about feeling fit. So
Yes.
it's about simple things like what we do is we ask our senior members to just move their hand in this way and
Yes.
move the other hand in the reverse way.
Yes.
So what is happening is their whole mind and concentration is in the activity.
Yes.
And then just have few laughter
Yes.
classes or have some yoga sessions. So it's all about keeping your mind and body active,
Yes.
and having a very healthy lifestyle. Sleep plays a very important role, and I think these are some bit of things that we can do to keep our our mind and body healthy and prevent
Food, I think food is also important. Like
Food is also
what kind of food you eat. So avoiding junk food, having green vegetable, almonds, apricot, and fruits. I think is a way. Use your body. Don't make it sit idle. I think that's important. Chill with. If you're singing song, to sing loudly. Don't hum. So using your body, you're using your brain. And if you're using your brain, you keep dementia away.
So happy brain is having a happy body.
Yes.
So coming to my last point, Sailesh, how does Silver Ending Foundation help or play an important role in spreading awareness about Alzheimer's, and what are we doing for people who are already suffering from Alzheimer's? So Sailesh, coming to the last point, how do we at Silver Ending Foundation help people who are already suffering from Alzheimer's? And also about how are we, helping to spread awareness amongst society about Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah. So when we started working with Silver Endings with senior citizens in 2008, we actually, as you know, you are trustee of Silver Endings. So we were thinking only to talk about positive side of aging. So we'll talk about good thing about aging, how seniors are living their life after 60, and how they can be better aging gracefully and rewarding experience. So when we started working, we came across a segment of people who have some problem, who had some disability, who had some mental challenges, dementia and Alzheimer's. And before I started Silver Ending, I was working at Dignity Foundation. I saw people with dementia and Alzheimer's. I got trained there. And still, I think people were not ready, because in India, around 5.7% of senior citizen population are suffering with some form of dementia. So there was hardly any, except few organizations, ARDSI and Dignity at that time, there were no service providers. Three or four. Yeah. So there was a need. So what we started doing initially in 2008, we started because we were online and we were on social media, we were very hyperactive. We started receiving calls. So we started dementia management services, that is home care services. You call us, we take all the details and we go to home of the person and try to help them. We refer them to a doctor, whether we see whether it has been properly diagnosed or not. We refer them to psychologist or psychiatrist or neurologist, and it's a diet problem to refer to Neha NutriIFit. And then we also do mental games, brain games, creativity, music, dance, according to history of the person. So twice a week we started this. And we also were working with networking with, we are famous for networking. We do network and refer people to Alzheimer Society of India, ARDSI, Dignity Foundation, other organization where we are not able to reach out because we are getting calls from all over India.
And I think it's not only networking with similar organizations, but I think at Silver Inning we are also have been networking with different types of organization. As you know, previously mentioned by Sailesh, that it is very important for someone to be active.
Yes.
So there have been multiple NGOs and organizations with whom Silver Inning has been constantly networking and making sure that people are active, people are connected to different.
Exactly. So what we did, we went to colleges, we went to schools, we went to
generational programs.
We went to Mahila Mandals, we went to nature clubs, and we took that platform and talked about Alzheimer and dementia. So that was the awareness creating. We started holding talks, how to take care of a parent. We started something called Missing Senior Citizens blog and alert, where senior citizens are suffering dementia, Alzheimer, tend to get lost. How to find them? Yesterday only somebody was found. So because
we also had a helpline, right?
Helpline, exactly. We have helpline. People call that helpline. We found dementia, Alzheimer people.
What is the number for the helpline?
900-2900-91. I think now there is the Government of India helpline number 14567. If you call them, and they will come to you and they will tell you what to do. So after doing all this, we thought there's a constructive step to be taken. So in 2013, we started A1 Snehanjali, India's first assisted living 24/7 care home, where we take care of people who are suffering with dementia, Alzheimer. We started group therapy and we started diet food from Neha NutriIFit, and it is doing so well because children can concentrate on their work. It's not dumping of the parents. We don't take dumping parents.
So I think when we talk about old age homes, and what we have seen is a lot of times, the people go there and just dump their parents or grandparents. But out here at A1 Snehanjali, the concept is very different. It's not about just letting people come and dump their parents. It's for people who are actually genuinely suffering from a particular problem or disease, where the children have this opportunity where they can send their parents to the assisted living care home, where they are taken care.
We understood we want to address the challenge faced by younger generation. If you're working with seniors, you can't keep younger generation away. So we understood their problem.
Keep them connected.
Exactly. They want to work, they have the children, they have to go abroad. They can't leave the job, and it's not possible because we seen the Alzheimer person will go, then what will happen to the children? So we started keeping the parents with us with same. It's not an old age home, it's not a nursing home, it's home like. We have bedroom, we have TV room, we have garden, we have activity area, and we go to market, we go to movie, we celebrate birthday, Diwali, Christmas, all festivals.
So I've been a part of it and I know how they celebrate. It's a hell of a party what they do.
Exactly. So we have doll therapy. We try to bring, and it's like a home.
So Sailesh, at Neha NutriIFit, we have also been trying to do our best. We have been helping a lot of elderly and senior citizens, and not only them, but we will also be spreading a lot of awareness amongst the family members, because they play an important part in this. And we have a team of dietitians and trainers who will help in terms of diet and exercise to help prevent the onset of Alzheimer's. And also, you were talking about this helpline number on which people can contact for more information about awareness.
So so there are 2-3 things. As I said, there's a book which will be helpful, Remember Me, available on Amazon, and buy it. It's a self-help book. Other than that, you can visit our Instagram and Facebook page, Silver Innings, and you can write to us by email, silverinnings@gmail.com, and we'll be available to help you. And you can contact, of course, Bhavesh and Neha NutriIFit. And as we always talk about that we are working together, and it's a collective effort of government, civil society, NGOs, organization like yours coming together and helping, and together we can achieve everything. And this is a fight against dementia, the devil, and it can be fought only when we are together. So band muthi laag ki khul gayi to khaak ki. So come together and we will together handle this.
And thank you, Sailesh, so much for giving us such a insightful talk and information about Alzheimer's and dementia. And also, I'm sure there will be a lot of people, if they have any questions or they know someone who's suffering from Alzheimer's or their family members, they need any help, we are there to help.
Yes.
Sylvaning Foundation and Neha NutriIFit. And Sailesh, again, thank you once again.
Thank you.
For being a part of this and doing, such an amazing job for this concept and this cause. And there are very few who are actually doing for this, and we need more and more people like Sailesh and all of us to actually work towards it. So I would like to end this podcast, and I would again thank Sailesh to be a part of this.
Thank you so much.